This is the Atomic Shinobi, and today I am going to narrate what if Naruto was trained by Goku during 4th Shinobi War. If you enjoy this video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Not wasting no more time, let's start the story.
The universe was finally at peace 100 years prior to the events of Naruto, after Goku used the Universal Spirit Bomb to defeat Omega Shenron. Elder Kai then asked Goku, who was now one with the Dragon Balls, to serve as the universe's symbol for maintaining peace. Shenron later granted the Z-Fighters life and immortality after Goku gladly accepted the offer. The Eternal Dragon departed Goku's body to enter the realm of the Eternal's dragons after Shenron was done. After saying goodbye to the Kais, Goku departed to be in the middle of the multiverse. In a strange verse titled, "The Nadoverse, just so you know," Goku discovered a possible threat that could endanger their world. Thus, Goku departed from his position and proceeded to their verse. In the interim, as Naruto demonstrated his new form to Yamato and be outside of his subconscious, he abruptly detected Kisame concealed within his Samahata by identifying his negative emotions, which startled Kisame. When Kisame tried to flee, Naruto used his lightning fast speed to punch Kisame hard into the wall. But when Naruto's foot became lodged in the wall, Kisame was able to flee, and Yamato stayed behind to assist in freeing him as B pursued him. Then, as they observed Guy and Kisame's battle from a distance, Naruto and Yamato caught up with the others. At that moment, Goku materialized out of thin air, shocking Kisame and the Konoha. When Goku was on Namek, he wore a replica of his previous GI, but with a small modification. He wore a black undershirt, black wristbands, black obi, black cape, and power pole, and he had the kanji savior over his left, above the heart. Konoha glared at Goku as he suddenly moved between Guy and Kisame. Wham! With one powerful but non-lethal blow. Who are you? Naruto stammered as he approached Goku, followed by Yamato, after realizing that Kisame was unconscious. Goku gave Naruto a look that was similar to Vegeta's before bursting into laughter. Goku said, "Sorry, my name is Goku, I'm sorry that I got involved in your battle." He looked over his shoulder at Guy, who merely nodded. Yamato addressed the others, saying, "Well, we appreciate Goku. Guys, go restrain Kisame before he comes to." Yamato was chatting to Goku while Konoha was busy getting information from Kisame. "So, Goku, if you don't mind me asking, who are you? And where did you come from?" Yamato said. "I'm an alien Saiyan from Earth, but that's all I can say for now, so let's leave it at that," Goku said, grinning and rubbing the back of his head as Yamato nodded. Kisame broke free and killed himself as soon as they had finished speaking, preventing them from learning anything. Naruto was shocked to learn that even Akatsuki's shinobi battled for their allies. Guy then opened the scroll containing the information Kisame had attempted to send to the Akatsuki, which caused them to be trapped in water prisons with summoned sharks to keep Goku and the shinobi busy while the final shark swam into the ocean to deliver the information to Akatsuki. He had no idea, though, that Goku would not allow that to occur. He disappeared from the water prison and materialized in front of the shark. The shark attempted to move away from Goku, but Goku easily and quickly disposed of it. The group then liberated themselves, and Goku reappeared in front of them. "Why didn't you help free us when you escaped, man?" asked Goku, irritated, after Naruto gave him a perplexed look. "Well, I just figured that it would be faster by myself than with all you helping. Besides, from what I could tell, that shark would have made it to its destination if had it not been for me," Goku said honestly, grinning at the sun. Motoi inquired, "Well, did you get the other scroll?" "You mean this?" Goku asked, smiling, reaching inside his obi and lifting his hand to reveal a tiny scroll. As Goku used his ki to ignite the scroll in his hand, Naruto angrily exclaimed, "Yes, duh. Huh? What the hell are you doing?" He trailed off, "I know that you are mad," before concluding, "Naruto Uzumaki." The Saiyan's words caused everyone to gasp. "Look, I know you guys are having your 4th Shinobi War, but you have to believe me, there's no way letting you know what was in that scroll would put the entire planet in chaos," Goku said. The rest of Konoha nodded in agreement as Guy said, "So what are we going to do? Let them find out where we are?" As the others stared at him in disbelief, Goku remarked, "Well, I should explain, for starters I'm now a cosmic being sent to uphold peace in the multiverse. And my job is to keep lookout in my place to oversee other dimensions, save their worlds from potential world threats to universal at first, but now to world to multiverse," Goku said. "Goku, tell me how strong you are," Yamato inquired. Goku laughed and remarked, "Well, with the way my power is now 15% is enough to bust planets to large planet in my base. The best I've heard so far is that Pain destroyed the entire Leaf Village in a single blow, but this guy's claim is so much more impressive than that." Yamato said incredulously, "That's not possible. No one can gather that much chakra to destroy planets. Not even the cages can do that, much less level a continent. Goku simply grinned foolishly. With his back to Konoha, Goku remarked, "Well, since you don't believe me, I will give you a sample to make you believe me 100%. Goku commanded, "Yo guys, come here." With hesitation, Naruto said, "What?" Goku said, "Grab any part of my body." Konoha exchanged glances but followed instructions. Goku calmly said, "Here we go." Instant transmission. "Where are we?" Motoi inquired, bewildered. "Outer space is absurd." Goku uttered this foolishly. "However, how is that feasible?" You fool, we can't breathe out here." B asked, "Why are you striking poses?" "Easy. I used a tiny portion of my power to allow you to breathe." With a rainbow glow in his right palm, Goku uttered those words. "What are you going to do out here, then?" Naruto asked while Goku put his gaze on Naruto. Goku smirked and said, "What?" Naruto started to ask another question, but Yamato interrupted him. "Hyaaaa!" Goku cried as he thrust his arm above the ground, causing a huge cloud of smoke the size of a planet to appear. "What is this impression of youth?" Guy asked to no one. When the smoke cleared, a large planet with almost the same size as Jupiter was there, just enough above the Earth to not interfere with the gravitational pull. "Prepare yourself." Goku issued a warning, erected a barrier in front of Earth, and then moved forward in front of the barrier. Motoi thought, what the hell is he going to do? Now here it goes. Goku used one finger to charge a beach ball sized ki blast, which he then fired at the planet. Then, boom! The planet that hovered over Earth had vanished. Unbelievable. B thought. Naruto exclaimed, How I.ist. That page possible, with his mouth hanging open. Goku turned around and noticed the shocked expressions on everyone's faces. Yamato grinned and said, "Well, Goku, you have my complete trust." All but Naruto nodded in agreement with Yamato's admission. He trailed off before finishing, "No way," with a cruel glare in his deep sea blue eyes. Naruto remarked, "Like hell we can trust you." Curious, Motoi said, "What are you talking about, Naruto? I won't let you get your way with our planet." Naruto yelled angrily, pointing to Goku and picturing his beloved people perishing at his hands. Naruto sprinted in Goku's direction without thinking. Before the barriers, Goku created a key floor. Naruto shouted, "Shadow Clone Jutsu!" as 10 clones ran toward Goku. Goku wasn't prepared for this because he anticipated nearly everything, but Naruto somehow disproved that. As the clones' eyes changed from blue to golden orange with sideways ovals in each, Goku grinned. The real Naruto and all of the clones yelled, "Take this sage art!" Super Odama Rasengan Barrage, simultaneously. Boom! Despite being in a barrier, the explosion was so powerful that all of the Konoha shinobi were sliding. Naruto was panting heavily as his sage mode came to an end when the smoke cleared. Naruto said softly, "Darn already?" astonished that it ended before the time limit was completely depleted. Goku was still standing unharmed when the smoke cleared. Goku grinned like a member of the Sun family and remarked, "Well, you're impressive, but you can't defeat me, let alone without being trained." "What? Not trained?" Naruto asked, his eyes glaring deathly. Once more, Naruto hurried to Goku. With his left hand clenched into a fist, Naruto leapt, cocked back, released, and missed. Naruto turned around, startled by Goku's speed. Naruto calmly remarked, "I didn't even see him move, how was that possible?" At that moment, Konoha intervened to support Naruto, with the exception of Yamato, who continued to have faith in the Saiyan. To everyone's surprise, Naruto threw a flurry of punches and kicks, and Goku simply took it. Goku was just staring at Naruto in confusion when he asked, "Why aren't you attacking?" "Why?" Goku asks. "Why?" cried Naruto once more. Before Naruto could deliver a right punch, Goku vanished. "There's no need, I can see that you care about your friends and family," Goku said, giving him a serious look. Naruto gave Goku a startled look. "Huh?" inquired Naruto. "When you saw me destroy that planet, you were afraid I would do the same. So you put past your fear of dying, and charged at me in hopes of winning to protect everyone dear to you, and I respect that," Goku told the young shinobi. Naruto halted his attack and lowered his head to his feet. I never had a family, but I have people who treated me like family," said Naruto. With his thumb pointing to his heart, Naruto remarked, "But I got to see my parents and I will make their dreams come true, including mine. I promise this on my life." "Well said." Goku asked Konoha, "Okay, if you're done, would you like to return to Earth?" Everyone gave a nod of approval. "All right, here we go," exclaimed Goku. Instant transmission. Well, we're back, Goku declared. Guy struck his nice guy pose and remarked, well, that was a youthful experience. With the exception of Goku, who was laughing, everyone was sweating anime style in unison. Goku said, hey guys, I'll be back in one day, I need to get something set up for someone, so later, as he immediately transmitted to an unidentified location outside of their world. Naruto and Killer Bee began evacuating the giant animals into the island turtle's shell for their protection in case of an attack after Goku left, and Motoe dispatched his summoned owl to alert the allied shinobi forces of the situation. As part of his official S-rank mission, Naruto was attempting to log the island's ecology, but he was still unaware of the real reason for being there. In the interim, Goku was making every effort to persuade the Elder Kai to assist Naruto in their impending conflict. Come old Kai, if you don't, this everyone on their world will die. Goku begged. While Kibito Kai was attempting to observe what was happening, the Elder Kai said, sorry Goku, but the process could kill this Naruto fella. Old Kai clarified, Ki or Kai are Asian terms for energy. This refers to personal power. However, chakra is a term referring to what are called energy centers. There are 7 major centers in the body. They're the root, sacral, solar, heart, third eye, and crown. These are located at various points in the human body from the base of spine up to the top of your head, Old Kai concluded. Goku argued, but, why can't you do it anyway? I know the risk, Old Kai. Pay attention Goku to what I'm about to say. If I fill sugar water with oil, how will the sugar water with oil taste? Goku was asked by Old Kai. Goku replied, well, will be disgusting. Old Kai replied, exactly, oil is more potent than the sugar, so if his body is more adapted to chakra, his body will die from the incredible power of ki from overfill, since his body's actions depend on chakra, said the Elder Kai. Well, if that's the case, what if I tell him this, and he chooses to come of his own free will? Will you do it? Goku asked with a serious expression on his face. Old Kai responded, sure, but if he dies it will be his own fault. Upon recalling Gohan's amazing power at the time, Goku exclaimed, great, now I can bring him here to have his full potential unlocked. His eyes were filled with wonder. Before leaving, Goku said, thanks, Old Kai. As he continued reading his pervy book, Old Kai simply waved his hand back. Immediate transmission. Naruto became suspicious of what was going on because of the battle outside. Naruto asked Kakashi's replacement, Captain Yamato, why was Kisame here in the first place? Last but not least, Yamato grinned and said, look Naruto, I know that you want to know, but you can't leave this island, you have to finish your first S-rank mission. Yamato went outside to look around. Naruto dropped it for the time being even though he was still perplexed. Goku then made a reappearance in front of Naruto. As Goku reappeared directly in front of Naruto, he jumped. Naruto exclaimed, hey, what the hell is wrong with you? With a mixture of fear and rage. While Naruto was perplexed, Goku laughed and remarked, sorry, I'm still not used to people getting worked up over my instant transmission technique. Naruto asked, what? Instant transmission? In an attempt to learn more about this incredible move. Naruto grinned and said, what's that? Goku told the nine-tailed shinobi. Well, basically, this move allows me to travel all over the universe. On top of that, I can travel at the speed of light or a bit greater. Specifically 186,282.397 or more. Wow. That's so awesome, Naruto exclaimed, grinning like a fox. Goku gave the boy a smile. Goku said, his smile turning serious, hey Naruto. Naruto noticed the change in his face and questioned, what? Goku gazed up at the sky and said, what if I told you I know someone who can unleash your dormant powers? Goku trailed off, knowing that Naruto knew who he was referring to. Think about it, I can sense what you can do. With that said, you can surpass your friend and bring him back. I accept your challenge, but what exactly is it? Naruto asked, his own expression solemn. Goku saw fire in the young man's eyes and smiled, saying only, it's a ritual. Somewhere else. When Black Zetsu appeared, the daimyo of the 5 great shinobi countries gathered at a fortified house to discuss the allied shinobi forces and what medals to give the shinobi after the war. Black Zetsu breaks into the fortress in an attempt to kill the daimyo, but his plan fails because the daimyo has already been relocated, leaving only wooden dummies. HMPH. They underestimate me, he remarked as he scooped out the area while escaping the area while being surrounded by shinobi and a net. The daimyo of the Land of Frost is escorted by Mei Terumi and her group, who reassure him of his safety. In the meantime, Jirai uses his black lighting technique to attack the enemy forces off the coast of the Land of Lighting. Despite being reincarnated and compelled against his will to fight for the enemy, Hisashi confronts his brother Hiyashi and reiterates that his death was for the benefit of the Hyuga clan and the village. Meanwhile, Shukichi recruited Shio, Hanzo, and Kimomaru, 3 more reincarnated shinobi, to support the surprise attack and diversion platoon, and Kankuro and his division must contend with them. Headquarters orders Shikamaru to take half of his squad and support Darui's division in the desert. They were going to confront a formidable Kekkei Toda shinobi, and Tamari was clearly confused. Onoki shows up to support the 4th Division on the battlefield. Still on the coast, Darui confronts Kinkaku and Ginkaku, the Gold and Silver brothers, and apologizes for having to further eliminate the Gold and Silver Glow with a single storm release blow. Back with Naruto and the others in the meantime. Without anyone noticing, Kabuto Yakushi captured Yamato. When Goku and Naruto approached Konoha, Goku said, "Hey guys, I was hoping I can take Naruto with me to do some training." Goku looked serious as he said this. With the rest of the group wondering the same thing, Motoi asked, "Where are you going to train?" Goku uttered a blank, "To the world of the Kai." Motoi looked at Guy and B and said, "Okay, but one of us has to supervise him." With anime stars in his eyes, Guy declared, "I will do it. With the incredible battle I witnessed yesterday, I want to see both of these young guys fight with their souls burning." Everyone nodded when Goku smiled and said, "Okay then, it's settled, we will be back in about 1 day, okay guys. Are you ready, Naruto?" Goku spun around to face Naruto. "Yes, it's true," Naruto said, pointing to Goku with his right fist while gazing at him with a determined expression. Everyone who was about to seize Goku disappeared. The Kai's world. Everyone showed up. Kibito Kai, holding an apple in his hand, said, "So there you are, Goku." "Indeed, in any case, where is the elderly man?" Goku inquired. Kibito led the way and said, "Right this way." As Naruto stared at the Kai, he thought, "This guy looks freaky weird." "So you think we're weird, huh? Well, I do understand the human mind after all, so I want to take offense at that this time. But next time, I won't forgive you, do you understand?" Kibito Kai said telepathically. "Yes, Kai. Sama," Naruto said politely, his eyes slick with concern. Goku said, "Okay, this it, Naruto." The only thing Naruto said was, "Yes." Naruto approached and bowed to the elder Kai. Yeah, sit down, boy." Old Kai angrily snapped. "Well boy, I must warn you before I begin this process. Since your body is more used to chakra, this can be fatal. Cause Ki is far stronger chakra and can overload your body. So you've been warned, okay, Naruto?" said old Kai while staring Naruto in the gaze. "Yes, no matter the risks, if it'll give me the power to stop Sasuke and end this war, I'll take whatever you throw at me, old timer," Naruto said confidently. "All right, let's get started," Elder Kai said as he circled Naruto in amusing walking positions. Naruto looked at the old Kai and kept circling him, saying, "What the heck, Goku, I thought you said we will be training?" Goku gave him the thumbs up and said, "We are, as soon as this is done, okay? I promise." Naruto nodded. Goku was simply waiting for the Elder Kai to complete unleashing Naruto's dormant, hidden power while he ate. Since it was everyone's first time witnessing the geezer's magic, he recalled how dull it had been at the time. "This is taking forever," thought Naruto dully. "Hey old Kai, how low?" Old Kai cut Naruto off. "Now, boy, you need to be quiet so that this can end as soon as possible. As for your second question, you have about 2 to 3 hours left." Old Kai boldly addressed the young nin, expressing what Naruto was thinking. Naruto could only describe what the old man said as freaky. "Goku?" In an attempt to catch the Saiyan's attention while he was eating, Kibito Kai asked, and Guy also paid attention. Before responding to him, Goku swallowed his meal. "Well, who is Kibito Kai?" Goku merely inquired. Kibito looked at Naruto and said, "Do you know for sure that Naruto has the potential to become as strong as you say?" Guy said to the Saiyan, "Of course Naruto does, his soul burns just much as Lee's." "Well, to be completely honest, in our world his power wouldn't be too impressive to us, well, except to the humans of course. But, in his verse, he will by far be the strongest being his world and verse has to offer," Goku said as he continued to eat. Kibito smiled and said, "Yes, I see what you mean. But there was something odd I sensed within him the moment I first met him," Goku said, pausing to recall Naruto's other amazing chakra. He concluded, "It's known as Kurama, or the nine-tailed fox." Kibito asked, fully aware of the response, "What do you mean, one of the tailed beast?" "Yes," Goku replied gravely. "But, it seems that he can now tap in its chakra at will, which is rather impressive," Goku grinned. Far from the world of the Kais, Naruto felt the 9. Tails chakra in the raging 6. Tailed Kinkaku while he was still unlocking his true power. He attempted to deceive the Elder Kai because he wanted to look into it. Naruto grinned slightly and said, "Hey, I got to get back to my world, I forgot my wallet Gamma-chan." Old Kai just said, "No can do." With a frustrated glare on Naruto's face, he went on, "Boy, you sure are foolish, trying to trick an ancient man like myself." When Naruto reached his breaking point, he got up to denigrate Elder Kai. However, he released a tremendous amount of ki energy prior to yelling. With his body trembling with power, Naruto was screaming and creating tidal waves, blowing trees, and strong hurricane force winds. Goku grinned at what he saw. Goku thought, "So the time has come, huh?" Who also felt Naruto's power after he was done. He landed on his right knee because it was so overwhelming. A still, stunned Naruto was asked by Goku, "Naruto, are you ready to finally begin your training?" Naruto said, I never felt so powerful in my life." Naruto hesitated before saying, "But, Goku, I'm sorry I can't train with you, because I have to get back and save everyone." Goku cast an irate glance at Naruto. Goku calmly voiced, "Naruto, you can't go. You have to learn to master your ki. If you try using any of your jutsu just once you will die." Naruto also had a composed expression on his face as he gazed at Goku. Ignoring Goku's warning about dying, Naruto said, "Well, if you want to take me to my home, I will just have to defeat you." He then made the Shadow Clone Jutsu sign with his hand. He shouted, "Shadow Clone Jutsu." As 5 clones materialized, each one then transformed into a beam of light that resembled orange and yellow. Then they were gone in the blink of an eye. Old Kai sighed and said, "Oh boy." Kibito concurred, saying, "I know, ancestor." Goku was just waiting for Naruto to reveal himself while he stood there with a serious expression. Suddenly, Naruto punched Goku, or what he believed to be Goku, and hit the ground. He retrieved the memories of each and every clone he had created as soon as he was off the ground. When Naruto turned around, he was struck in the stomach by a fist. With his fist still in his stomach, Goku was using him. With blinding speed, Naruto recovered and backflipped away from Goku. However, he felt a knee at his back as soon as he touched the ground. Naruto had to use his Rasengan as a result, but it was purple in color rather than blue. Seeing the difference, he vanished behind Goku and struck Goku square in the torso, surprising him. Naruto was somewhat relieved by the devastation he had caused, but as he turned to leave, the form vanished. A walking Naruto was startled to see that Goku had not even a scratch on him when he appeared in front of him. The words, "Naruto," trailed off before Goku finished. He put his hand on Naruto and said, "Go to sleep." Naruto fell asleep. Goku covered the sleeping Naruto with his hand and said, "Hey guys, I'm going to take him to Den so he can get healed, and I'm planning to train him in the hyperbolic time chamber." Old Kai reached for his perverted book and lay down by a tree, saying, "Well, take care then Goku, and please don't wreck Kami's lookout tower." Kibito Kai waved and said, "Bye Goku." Before heading out, Goku said, "See ya." Immediate transmission. When Goku reached the lookout, he saw Gohan and Den. Goku came over and said, "Hey guys, how's it been?" Gohan said, "Dad." "Hi." Den shook his head. Gohan said to his father, "Dad, not that I'm not happy to see you, but what are you doing here?" Goku pointed to Naruto on his left shoulder and said, "Well, I'm here for Den to heal him." Goku interrupted Den before he could say, "Okay, then I'll heal him right now." Goku clarified, "No, we will heal Naruto when he comes to." 5 hours later, after waking up, Naruto was in excruciating pain. He was wrong to believe that the Kyuubi would cure him. "Dumb fox." Naruto muttered, anticipating Kurama's response. He didn't hear anything, so he simply dropped it. Naruto found it hard to breathe when he saw a clear blue sky with few clouds. He leapt off the tower in an attempt to escape, but as he saw the horizon, he realized he had made a grave error. After creating a few shadow clones, he grabbed the ledge and hauled himself up. He saw Goku and company when he reached the summit. All Naruto could manage to say was, oh, I figured you try to escape, but seriously I have to train you so you can master your ki energy." Goku grinned. Naruto began to argue, "Look, I understand, but I felt Kura," but was cut off. Goku concluded for the blonde, Kurama's chakra and what the wielder saw. Gohan and Den were shocked by this and wanted to know what Kurama was. They didn't know, as Naruto could see by the shocked expressions on their faces. Goku turned back to Naruto and said, "Naruto, I'll tell them for you. Basically, Kurama is one of the 9. Tailed beast, and it's the last one, the 9th. Goku said. Gohan said to his father, "So Dad, if this is true, it must be pretty powerful." "Well, if we were from their verse, yeah, it would be pretty powerful, but I think if we needed to ever to defeat it, my brother would be enough," Goku stated as he left. Goku said, "Naruto, follow me." Okay," Naruto said as he followed him. Naruto scratched his chin with his right index finger and said, "So what are gonna do since I can't escape?" As he continued to move through a room, Goku declared, "We're gonna get you healed." Goku told Naruto, "Okay, just sit here." Naruto complied. Goku was in a meditative state when Dend entered the room shortly after. Goku took his stance seriously, and Dend grinned at him. Dend questioned, "Goku, is everything okay?" Goku's eyes opened and met Dend's. Goku laughed a little and said, "Well, I forgot to bring Guy." "Oh, I see," Dend remarked, giving Goku a crazy look. Goku pointed to Naruto and remarked, "Anyway, Dend, I was hoping you can heal him." Dend said, "Sure," in response to Goku's request. Naruto soon experienced a pleasant, warm sensation throughout his body that made him laugh a little. Dend retreated after he was done. As Naruto struggled to comprehend what he was saying, Goku said, "Okay Naruto, I'm going to tell you the purpose of coming here. You see, this is a place where very few humans come to train. Also, there's this place that will allow you to get a year of training in just a day. Are you prepared for the training phase now?" Giku inquired. Naruto removed his Konoha headband and said, "Yeah. All right, let's move. This is going to be interesting," Goku remarked with a smile. As soon as they entered the hyperbolic time chamber, Naruto dashed to the training area's threshold and collapsed face first. Ow! What's up with the gravity and air, Goku?" cried Naruto. Barely able to stand, Naruto asked. "This is one of the things that makes this place so amazing, as you have noticed. As you can see, the air will change because there are no boundaries here, so it is infinite, and the gravity is 10 times that of Earth. Additionally, the temperature will fluctuate significantly, from 0.40 to 122 degrees, Goku concluded. "What?" Naruto shouted so loudly that a huge echo could be heard. Trying to calm himself, Goku said, "It's okay, I'll be here to help you." Naruto calmed down when Goku said, "Okay, let's begin. Every living and non-living thing, including people, animals, plants, the earth, water, and even the air, contains the physical energy known as ki." Goku began. "Anyone can use it, they just need to learn how. It's time to use ki now. Making a ki ball is the most fundamental thing that everyone should begin with. This is essentially a ball of pure ki energy that you extract from your tantien, or ki storage, which is situated 1 or 2 inches below the navel. Belly button. Your hands are the primary part of your body from which you will extract ki," Goku said. "Your willpower and visualization are what control ki." Goku went on. "You have to visualize ki and have complete faith in it in order to control and use it. But you should always keep in mind these 2 guidelines. Don't push the energy to move too quickly. Take your time and exercise patience. Additionally, avoid forcing the energy to leave your body and travel to another area. According to Goku, ki is physical energy that should only be released when it is going to be used for something else." Naruto tried it, but to his surprise, nothing happened, and he hasn't advanced after about 50 attempts. "Naruto, there are 2 focus exercises that I am aware of that can significantly improve your ability to focus and control your ki." As he brought a candle to life, Goku stated, "The first concentration exercise requires a candle or a very dim source of light that you can stare at without hurting your eyes. Now stare at the candle fire for a minute or 2, then turn around and focus on the image of that light still being there for as long as possible," Goku said. "The longer it takes to lose concentration or sight of the light, the better you are at concentrating," Goku said. Naruto tried it after nodding. When the 2 minutes were up, he followed the instructions and turned around, concentrating on the light image. He could see that light for about 4 minutes. With the characteristic sun smile, Goku said, "Excellent 4 minutes on your first try, that's pretty impressive." Naruto blushed. Laughing, Naruto said, "Thanks." As Goku snapped his finger and a kunai materialized, he uttered the words, "Now, moving on." The second concentration exercise requires no more than an object to focus on. All you have to do is stare at an object for as long as you can with your eyes focused on the object. If your eyes go out of focus, then you have lost concentration on the object. Again, the longer this takes, the better at concentration you are," Goku said again. After giving a nod, Naruto started his workout. Goku was pleased that Naruto only required a helping hand to steer him in the correct direction. Naruto performed for an additional 4 minutes. With his fox grin, Naruto remarked, Yeah, another 4 minutes, that's what I'm talking about. Thought Goku said, this child has a lot of potential. Goku said, okay, now for the very good part, with charm. The first and most basic way you should use Kefir is by making a ki ball. As I said already, a ki ball is a sphere of pure ki energy, Goku said. Try to create one like this, put your hands in a cupped shape like this, 0. Where the S are your hands and the 0 is the ki ball. You can spread your fingers together, or you can keep them together. Goku showed a simpler shape. Okay, after your hands are in position, keep them relaxed and try not to move them at all. Now, imagine the energy in your Tantien going slowly up your abdomen, stomach, up your torso, chest, and splitting in half and going down your arms, into your hands. After this, visualize the ki coming out of your hands and forming a ball. Goku said as he began to glow in his palm. As the glow transformed into a ki ball, Goku remarked, if you felt throbbing, heat, pressure, or tingling, then you have made a ki ball. Naruto followed suit, patiently waiting for 10 minutes before forming a ki ball the size of a golf ball. Naruto exclaimed in awe, whoa, this energy feels so calm yet deadly. Goku looked at Naruto and remarked, well, of course, you had it in you all these years after all. Goku thought, this is amazing, it takes years for people to do this, much less make it glow. Goku looked at Naruto and said, okay, since you have the basics down pat, I want you to practice those moves I've shown you for 12 hours. Naruto returned to the position and said, okay, you got it. Goku thought, at this rate he will surpass all those in his verse and truly bring peace. He then gave Naruto a note instructing him to keep an eye on the building they had entered. After that, Goku opened a portal to go back, but where? In the ROSAT 6 months later. Naruto has experienced a remarkable metamorphosis, resembling his late father, Minato. He was using his ki to try to locate Goku, who was concealed. Naruto opened his eyes abruptly as he felt Goku, and he was correct when he aimed his right arm at the location he thought Goku was. However, Goku avoided the explosion and flew towards Naruto, preparing to karate chop him in the neck with his right hand. However, Naruto just flipped out of the way, and Goku smiled in response. When he returned to his stance, Goku said, hey, what's up with the look, Naruto? With his eyes closed, Naruto assumed his stance and hurried to Goku, ignoring his question in the process. In between his blows, Naruto asked cynically, what, just cause I lost my jacket I look strange? Goku glared at him. Naruto was taken aback by Goku's correction, it's not the clothes, the look in your eyes. Naruto, on the verge of giving up, said, it's just that I don't feel as though I surpassed you is all, which I know is true, but why can't I feel the difference? Naruto, you are changing, but it's not just strength alone, it's your will also. You endured what many humans cannot. Goku stated to the ninja. Knowing that Naruto had reached his limit for the day, Goku said, let's take a break, Naruto. Goku went off to meditate, and Naruto watched. Naruto was fighting against the strange circumstances as Goku went about his business. In addition, he was contemplating the war, his friends' activities, and Sasuke's secret release of Kurama's chakra. Naruto was reprimanded by the Nine Tails for his reckless use of its chakra as they dragged him into his subconscious. Naruto gained some recognition after the Nine Tails attempted to seduce him with power once more and failed, calling him naive for believing he could end the war on his own. Naruto pinned the beast down with a Torii in retaliation after the Nine Tails made fun of him for wanting to end hatred in the world and among other people. Naruto confidently told the beast that he intended to take action regarding Sasuke and the war. Naruto responded that perhaps one day he would take action against the Nine Tails' hatred as well, after they patronizingly praised him for finally learning how to defend himself. As Naruto left his subconscious, he vowed to the Nine Tails that it would be worth a try, leaving the fox stunned. The Nine Tails chastised him for believing that. Naruto was so taken aback by Goku's energy that it caused the ROSAT to appear nearly black. As he emerged from his subconscious, he saw Goku hovering over him, releasing a tremendous amount of energy that caused dust to form tornadoes and lightning. Naruto was so shaken that he was immobile as Goku finished and powered down from his white aura. Goku exhaled deeply and turned to see Naruto trembling. Goku looked gravely at Naruto and said, I'm sorry, I thought you were resting inside by now. Still trembling, Naruto said, hey Goku, why did you just do what you did? As he landed in front of Naruto, Goku remarked, oh well, I just to see if my control over my new powers were good. Okay Naruto, the other reason I did this is for another part of your training. You are going to learn to increase your abilities while using your ki alone. Goku said as he turned away from Naruto. Naruto kept asking, how am I going to do that? I mean, is it like chakra? Goku said to Naruto, yes, exactly, but just make sure you don't use the chakra, okay? Naruto produced crackling noises and strong winds as he started to release his ki. When Goku noticed this energy, he said. Goku attempted to guide Naruto by saying, Naruto, don't force your energy to come, just let it flow as you summon it. Following instructions, Naruto released the energy, causing the wind to shift from being heavy to extremely heavy and the formation of clouds. While waiting for the next scene, Naruto glanced at Goku. Goku complimented Naruto by saying, well done, your energy is just as high as mine before I fought King Piccolo. Naruto remained silent. Goku questioned, what's wrong now? As Naruto questioned whether King Piccolo was strong, he inquired, how strong was King Piccolo? Well, he was one of the strongest villain on Earth at the time. Even at his old age, he was able to best me with minimal effort, not to mention that he survived a battle with my former master, Master Roshi, and he killed Chaozu with a single blast, Goku said. Naruto exclaimed in shock, whoa, he was able to defeat you? Goku merely gave a nod. Anyway, it's time to finish this up, now I want you to attack me in your powered-up state, okay? Goku said. Yeah. Naruto exclaimed enthusiastically. After staring at each other for a while, Naruto and Goku vanished. Shockwaves could be felt as the ground cracked under their blows. Goku struck Naruto, who struck back with a punch that was so strong it sent both of them flying in the opposite direction. In an instant, Naruto regained his balance, disappeared, and knocked Goku to the ground. Naruto was startled when he felt a fist knock him yards toward the hourglass as he stood there waiting for Goku to rise. As Goku approached Naruto to offer assistance, Naruto stood up and performed the Rasengan. However, he now filled it with ki, and because the ki Rasengan was so powerful, Goku launched one of his most well-known attacks, the Kamehameha wave. They both nodded and met each other's eyes. They began attacking, and to Naruto's surprise, the ki Rasengan reached out from his hand. When the blast struck, they detonated a nuke-sized explosion that instantly knocked Naruto unconscious. In awe of the boy's strength, Goku teleported to the bedroom and placed Naruto on the bed. Goku noticed a hole in his GI as he was leaving. As he entered a meditative state in an attempt to learn more about the multiverse, Goku thought, he is truly amazing, reminds me of Gohan. Rewind. I know what's happening with Madara Old Kai, but he has the Sharingan and the Rinnegan, Goku said. Old Kai told Goku, well, you must know that time is running out, and if Naruto doesn't get there soon, it's all over for their world. Kibito Kai nodded, and Guy appeared composed. As the instant transmission returned to the ROSAT, Goku stated, I will try to get this over with as soon as possible. Finish the flashback. Goku, who is unable to predict Naruto's actions because he somehow negates them, hoped that Naruto would hurry and master his ki before it was too late. He returned to his meditation after finishing his thoughts. The last 6 months of the Rosat. Naruto's ki control has greatly improved over the past 6 months in the Rosat, and he can now control his ki to make Goku fight more seriously. They nearly broke through time and space during their most recent spar, but Goku fixed the issue by erecting a barrier around the area they were in. Goku asked the astonished Naruto, who was in awe of his amazing new power that far outstripped his 9-tailed chakra form, so Naruto, what do you think of yourself now that you nearly mastered your ki? Now hovering a few feet above the ground, Naruto proudly admitted, This is amazing. I feel as if I could do anything. After helping Naruto develop his ki to the point where he believed he could fly, Goku began teaching me the sky dancing technique during the next 6 months. After spending 2 weeks and a half perfecting the move, Naruto is now able to move and travel at an amazing, frightening speed because of his ki control. Goku said to a delighted Naruto, Hey Naruto, how about we have one more match to test your new abilities? As he descended to the ground, Naruto grinned and gave Goku his characteristic fox grin. With a hint of excitement and seriousness, Naruto said, Sure, I will gladly fight you now, hey. Goku immediately disappeared 20 yards away from Naruto and gestured for him to approach, which he gladly did. Naruto followed Goku's lead and emerged in front of him. They both struck each other with their fists, creating a shockwave so powerful that the room they entered was instantly destroyed, and Gohan and Dende could feel it trembling the temple outside. Both Goku and Naruto threw their other fists at each other's faces, but this time they both disappeared. When Naruto turned around, he saw Goku charging at him and getting closer after appearing a considerable distance above the ground. Naruto used ki to strengthen his right hand and pointed it straight at Goku, but his hand passed through the afterimage without incident. Goku's strong heel kick from above caused Naruto, who had lost his balance, to crash to the ground. Goku abruptly realized that Naruto Ki had fallen after he crashed. Goku heard a pulsating sound behind him as he hit the ground. When Goku realized at the last second that the Naruto he had thought was dead was actually just a shadow clone, Naruto's new move, Wind Style, Kirasenshuriken dead in his face, was revealed. This star, like Rasengan, was much larger than the true Wind Style. Rasenshuriken and had a vivid yellow color with a faint blue and white tint. Goku's shocked face was only a centimeter from the blow before he vanished. With a sly smile, Naruto said, "Leave." The Kirasenshuriken then leapt out of his grasp and headed toward Goku at the speed of light. Goku was completely unprepared and was forced to either block or allow the damage to be done. An explosion the size of 100 nuclear weapons was visible following an unidentified decision. Naruto was now aware of the technique's potential damage. Naruto was shocked to see Goku standing even though his cape had vanished after the massive mushroom cloud was cleaned. With a shrug, Naruto took off for Goku, who was imitating him. Goku smiled, showing Naruto that he was proud of him, and said, "Naruto, that was a pretty good planned attack. If I was suppressing a lot more energy, I would have been injured pretty badly." Naruto's expression changed to one of humorous depression as he took in everything he had said. Naruto hoped Goku was keeping half of it to himself when he asked, "Hey, how much you were holding out on me?" Goku sadly said, "I hate to say this, but it was at least 4 or 5% of my maximum." "Oh well," Naruto remarked, looking at the destroyed entrance, "I will just keep training till I surpass you." The boy asked his mentor, "So are we leaving today?" Before repairing the entrance, Goku insisted, "Yeah, it's about time. Now wait a minute." Goku said in a serious tone, "Now look, I don't want you telling people on your world that I trained you in the Rosette." Naruto nodded, realizing that Goku was being sincere. Goku took Naruto by the arm and performed instant transmission, saying, "Okay, then let's go back to the temple to get you healed, old Kai planet to let them know they're finished, and finally your world. And when we return, do not rush off to do something crazy." Immediate transmission. Naruto and Goku were embarrassed when Goku showed up in front of Gohan and Dende as they were speaking and describing their feelings an hour earlier. They bid each other farewell and depart for the world of the Kais. Naruto bowed to the geezer and said, "Old Kai, I want to thank you for what you did for me. If there's anything you want to ask of me, I will do it after my S-ranked mission." Everyone sighed as Guy passionately asked, "Okay, is it time go Naruto, my youthful rival student?" As they touched Goku to depart, Naruto nodded to Guy, "Sensei." The Kais returned the wave as Goku said, "Well, bye guys, I'll see you later." Immediate transmission. Goku departed to allow everyone, aside from Yamato, to greet Naruto upon his return. The group rejected Naruto's request to fight Sasuke. Naruto was able to fool B into letting him out while he was training, but Shibi Aburame and a few Konoha.nin stopped him, confirming his earlier suspicions that something wasn't right. Their companion, Iruka Amino, attempted to deceive Naruto into thinking he had a second mission on the island, but Naruto defeated the guards by using Sage Mode while losing his forehead protector. Iruka eventually told Naruto that he needed to be kept away from the battlefield to protect him from the enemy because he was outside the chakra isolation chamber and could feel the war raging all around him. Naruto, however, vowed to put an end to the conflict on his own and refused to remain at the temple. Iruka instantly encased Naruto in a barrier after giving him back his fallen forehead protector, but Naruto was able to escape with ease while in 9. Tails Chakra Mode. He discovered a note from Iruka in his forehead protector on his way to battle, in which Iruka asked Naruto to return alive if he was unable to prevent Naruto from leaving. After reading the note, Naruto went ahead and ate it. Iruka asked B to watch over his brother, like figure as Naruto ran off, but he was going with Naruto anyhow, so don't worry. Naruto was pleased that B would help him in the battle that was developing as they caught up. They soon destroyed the barrier that encircled the island turtle and proceeded to the battlefield. B and Naruto encountered Tsunade and while traveling. While A and B were glaring at one another, Naruto said, "Grandma Tsunade, what are you doing here?" Naruto, "I can't allow you to leave." Tsunade sighed and said, raising her voice loud enough for Naruto to hear. "Why?" exclaimed Naruto. "For the blonde Hokage," A said, "because you will just endanger everyone, including yourself." As Tsunade gaped in shock at the boy's retaliation, Naruto declared, "It doesn't matter. What you say to me at this point, I'm going to end this war and save everyone." A yelled, "Enough. You are not going to leave, is that clear?" to the boy who was standing on the ground. The boy was unaffected by his voice and just grinned. Naruto trailed off before uttering, "Well." Calmly, Naruto said, "I will just go through you." Naruto attempted to quickly avoid A, but since he was wearing lighting release armor, he was able to match his speed and punch him back. He rose on his feet and said, "Tsunade, please let me through." "Sorry Naruto, as the Hokage, I have a role to play into the allied shinobi forces, I cannot grant your request," she said sorrowfully. Understanding Tsunade's position, Naruto attempted to get around him once more, but it caught him once more. A boldly declared, "I will have to kill you for the sake of the world if you keep this up." A was shocked when B stopped him from attacking Naruto. Following their victory over in a lariat battle, B told it that their strength and Naruto's came from having loved ones in addition to their tailed beasts. It then fully charged his lighting release armor and used his fastest punch to test Naruto. However, just as his fists were about to collide with Naruto, he was nothing but air. Then it let Naruto and B go. In the interim, after the decisive battle, Goku asked Shenron to grant one last wish while he was in the middle of the realm of the Eternal Dragons. Since Goku was the purest person in the universe and all of the negative energy was still present, Shenron agreed, but he would only grant the wish if he were to become one with him once more. Goku consented as he once more became one with Senran, and he soon returned to the multiverse's center. Using Inoichi Yamanaka's telepathy, Shikaku Nara called Naruto and B while they were traveling and informed them that only Naruto would be able to sense the White Zetsu army's chakra. White Zetsu, posing as shinobi from the allied shinobi forces, soon blocked their path, and Naruto swiftly eliminated them all using his newly acquired skills. He sent his clones to the other battlefields after calling upon Gamahiro to destroy a merged White Zetsu clone. Later, Naruto and B encountered Akumo and Asuna.Nin, and he used a Rasengan to protect them from Toroi's attack. Naruto and B eventually encountered the reincarnated Itachi Uchiha and Nagato after they had already moved on from their initial encounter with a reincarnated shinobi. The battle started after Nagato and Itachi had a brief conversation. Naruto informed Itachi about Sasuke's predicament during their spar, but he assured him that he still had a plan to take action. Itachi used his Mangekyo Sharingan to use Amaterasu on Naruto after Nagato summoned his giant dog and bird. However, the crow Itachi had placed inside Naruto prior to his death suddenly appeared from his mouth and locked eyes with Itachi, forcing him to use Amaterasu on Nagato and his summons instead. Itachi clarified that by using Koto Amatsukami, the crow freed him from Kabuto's grasp. After Kabuto completely destroyed Nagato's personality, Nagato used his Asura Path ability to restrain B and Naruto, respectively. However, Itachi's Susanoo saved both Naruto and B before Nagato could extract Naruto's soul. Following Nagato's attempt to trap them with Shibaku Tensai, Naruto attacked the center of Nagato's technique with his wind release, Rasen Shuriken, Itachi's Yusaka Magatama, and B's tailed beast ball, ultimately destroying it. Itachi promised Naruto that he would assist in stopping Kabuto's impure world reincarnation after sealing Nagato with his sword of Totsuka, while Naruto would concentrate on battling Tobi. Itachi said he should leave his brother to his friends when Naruto urged him to visit Sasuke once more. Naruto and B continued their journey towards an unidentified location after Itachi departed. At the battlefield, one of Naruto's shadow clones showed up to engage the 3rd Raikage and the Reincarnation M at the 4th Division's position. Even though Mew was vanquished by Naruto's clone, Dodai clarified that the 3rd Raikage's physical stamina and the relative invulnerability of Impure World Reincarnation meant that none of Naruto's attacks had much of an impact on them. Dodai explained to Naruto that the scar on the 3rd's chest was caused by a previous battle with the 8 Tails. Naruto tried to create the tailed beast ball because he thought that only a tailed beast could hurt the 3rd, but it dissipated. He was then ejected from 9 Tails chakra mode because he had overused his chakras. Naruto went into Sage mode and charged at the 3rd, holding a Rasengan, after learning from the 8 Tails that it and the 3rd only fell after a protracted battle in which they were still holding their techniques. Naruto ducked the 3rd's attack at the last second and pointed the Rasengan at the Raikage's arm using the sensory power of Sage mode. The 3rd was impaled long enough to be sealed away after the attack knocked his arm into his chest. Naruto then proceeded to the area where Gaara was engaged in combat with the 2nd Mizukage, arriving just in time to witness the sealing. The one clone with Gaara and his unit was notified of someone's presence by a sensor while Naruto's clones arrived at the other division's locations to assist in locating and eliminating the remaining White Zetsu within the areas. Onoki told them that Mew must have split in half when they saw him on a cliff above them. They were even more taken aback when Onoki revealed that Madara Uchiha was standing next to him. They all questioned the identity of the masked man posing as Madara after Gaara revealed that Madara had been reincarnated. Naruto's clone created more clones to battle Madara as he launched his attack and buy time for him to switch to Sage mode. The Ultra. Big Ball Rasengan that the clones used to attack Madara was stopped by Susanoo. Naruto created a Rasen Shuriken after completing his transition into Sage Mode. "Now," exclaimed Naruto. When Madara revealed his Rinnegan, he and Gaara launched an attack at the same time, but it was unsuccessful. Naruto was stunned when Madara withdrew to the summit of a rock formation and called forth a meteorite. Goku was observing the conflict as it was being fought for the world's future. Goku thought to himself, "I can't help them right now, it will lead their verse physically unbalanced." Goku trailed off. "I hope he can pull this off, with the training he has, he should be able to win no problem." Before concluding, "But I will interfere if Naruto can't do what needs to be done." Returning to the current conflict. A second meteorite struck it after Onoki and Gaara stopped the first one, making landfall and destroying the division. Naruto could feel his stomach burning as Madara tried to call forth the 9 tails, and the fox angrily recognized his chakra calling for it. He initially believed that the 9 tails would try to take over his body as it used to when they decided to lend Naruto its chakra, but the fox stated that it would prefer to assist Naruto than once more fall victim to Madara's manipulation. Naruto's clone used its chakra to make more clones and used a series of Big Ball Rasengan to counter Madara's wood-release secret technique. Nativity of a World of Trees. The clone was so drastically weakened after that attack that he felt as though he might vanish at any time. Madara and Mew were about to attack when Tsunade, and Mei Terumi appeared out of nowhere and managed to stop them. Naruto's clone begged Tsunade to heal him because he didn't want to use her forehead seal or vanish just yet. She refused, though, and Onoki told him that the goal of the war was to protect everyone, not just him. Tsunade also advised Naruto to concentrate on eliminating the imposter and let the cage deal with the real Madara. In another scene, the real Naruto vowed to prevail after receiving the information from the scattered clone. When Naruto spotted Tobi coming, he headbutted him right away, causing them to both flinch. When Naruto asked Tobi who he really was, Tobi simply said that he was nobody and that his only goals were to finish the Eye of the Moon plan and make the world better. Naruto countered that having a tailed beast trapped inside of them wasn't all that horrible and that no one would fall for his lies, even in a world that Tobi considered worthless. Tobi then said that both Naruto and Bee should at least comprehend what that misery felt like. Naruto and Bee were both shocked when Tobi caused the reincarnated Jinchuriki to enter the early stages of their tailed beast transformations immediately after Naruto yelled that he intended to rip off his mask. Naruto, Bee, and the 8 tails started planning a counterattack against the resurrected Jinchuriki after barely avoiding it and seeking shelter beneath a shrub. Naruto fought Roshi after learning from Bee that he had seen a black rod embedded in Yugito's chest. He tried to use a Rasengan to destroy the receiver in Yugito's chest, but Han stopped him with a kick. Naruto watched as Bee attempted to seal the Jinchuriki with his ink clones while clinging to Bee as he transformed into the 8 tails and wreaked havoc on a sizable portion of the forest. However, the technique was cancelled when they all suddenly changed into their version 2 forms. Tobi had the chance to attempt to capture Naruto after he was finally overpowered and weighed down while fighting off the Jinchuriki. But Kakashi and Guy arrived just in time to save Naruto. Naruto started helping them fight Toba's 6 paths of pain after Guy destroyed the coral that was limiting his movement. He was thrown onto the 8 tails and dropped out of the 9 tails chakra mode when Tobi abruptly caused Utakata and Roshi to fully transform into the 6 tails and 4 tails, respectively. When he was directly in front of the enormous ape's teeth, Naruto swiftly switched back into 9 tails chakra mode after the 4 tails threw the 8 tails away from him, cutting off Kakashi and Guy. He was eventually engulfed by the 4 tails as he battled to break free, and he was shocked to discover the beast in chains inside Roshi's subconscious. The ape that refused to be called 4 tails chastised Naruto after he denied that he had come to steal the beast's power, telling him to refer to it by its correct name, Son Goku, while simultaneously discovering that the 9 tails was known as Kurama. Son thought it was funny when Naruto said that he wanted to be friends with Kurama the way Bee was with the 8 tails. However, when Naruto explained that he understood their feelings because he had been mistreated as a child and that he hated to see them mistreated by someone who didn't know who they were, Son realized that he was being serious. It made a point of not trusting Jinchuriki and warned Son not to expect it to become his ally unless it trusted him, even though Son agreed to teach the eager Naruto how to stop it. After Roshi used the multiple shadow clone technique, Naruto made the transformed Roshi vomit him out outside of his subconscious. A clone in Sage Mode that had remained inside the beast's mouth prepared a 2-fold attack on the chakra receiver on the side of Naruto's neck while it was still being controlled to attack him. Roshi was shocked to discover that the chain that had imprisoned Sun was still there after Naruto managed to remove it and re-enter his subconscious. Sun clarified that Naruto had only liberated the demonic statue of the outer path from Toba's control and that it still contained its chakra. Before being sealed back into the statue, it gave Naruto some of its chakra in recognition of his concern and desired to save Sun entirely. Kurama, depleted of chakra, offered to give him more of it. Naruto thanked Kurama for its assistance during one of his clone's encounters with Madara, but the fox rejected him before he could accept. Kurama offered to fuse its chakra with Naruto's after the two of them quarreled over how it had taken his gratitude. As he readied himself to confront the 5 surviving, fully transformed Jinchuriki, Naruto unlocked the seal's gate and released Kurama, noting that he was now an ally of the village and his teammate rather than the monster fox that had attacked Konoha. Naruto's other transformation occurred as he entered the gate just as the tailed beast was ready to use its tailed beast balls to attack Kakashi and Guy. Well, is this the form of the tailed beast? I thought to myself. This form completely changed Naruto's appearance from 9-tailed chakra mode to a new one. Without wasting any time, Naruto stepped in and quickly sidestepped the attacks, leading Kakashi to believe he was his own old teacher. Kakashi asked in complete shock, "Naruto? Is that you?" As the beasts regrouped and got ready to assault the shinobi, Naruto replied, "Yeah." As he changed into Kurama, Naruto remarked, "I don't think so, that's not gonna happen." He absorbed Guy and Kakashi in the process for protection. Guy asked Naruto, "Naruto, what are we doing in here?" As he instructed the sage clone to find the other chakra receivers, Naruto said, "Just to keep you out of harm's way, this is not going to be easy." Kurama cautioned Naruto that he only had 4 or 5 minutes at most because this was his first transformation. With a smile on his face, Naruto successfully snatched the 7 tails in midair and attempted to drive the beast into the 3 tails. As soon as the smoke subsided, the 6 tailed swiftly seized and swallowed Kurama's hand, immobilizing it and enabling the 3 tails to launch a tailed beast ball attack, which the 8 tails thwarted. "What's up, Kurama? Shake that blob off," Naruto commanded. Kurama growled, "Hush, what do you think I'm doing? Sleeping on the job?" While B dealt with the 5 tails, Naruto gasped as the 2 tails attempted to leap on him and Kurama from behind. However, they fiercely swung the 6 tails directly into the monster cat, flinging the 2 away from a distance. Naruto gave the fox a thumbs up and remarked, "Nice throw, Kurama." The fox muttered something about mortals who were easily amused. As the other tailed beasts assembled and performed a cooperative tailed beast ball, Naruto asked the fox, "What are they up to now, Kurama?" Kurama yelled, "What does it look like, idiot?" due to the jailer's lack of knowledge. "Sorry, but I'm excited because things are getting pretty frisky now," Naruto said in a monotone. In order to counter the attack, Naruto and Kurama executed one of their own, aiming just below their opponents, which sent them both hurtling upward in a tremendous explosion. Then, as the enormous cloud of dust cleared, Naruto grabbed his opponents by the throats using Kurama's tails, which he had transformed into chakra hands. Then he raised the stakes with 9 tails chakra mode clones. Naruto used 9 tails chakra mode clones to raise the stakes, saying, "Kurama, I promise this to you and your fellow tailed beast, I will free all of them." Naruto discovered abruptly that his subconscious had been drawn into a room where the other beasts and their Jinchuriki could talk to him. Yagura tried to thank him, but Naruto ended up crying because he believed the Mizukage had died young and had never kissed a girl or eaten ramen. The Jinchuriki explained that it insisted that they wait for Naruto and try to help him. Naruto began to throw up when Kurama joked that he had never kissed a girl but had kissed Sasuke. Yagura was totally ignored until he brought up Son Goku. After introducing themselves, the tailed beasts and Jinchuriki offered Naruto a portion of their power. "Thanks to Shukaku, Matabi, Isobu, Son Goku, Kakuo, Seiken, and Shomei, I will stop Tobi with the power you have given me." Just before his time in the new form ended, Naruto was able to extract the chakra receivers from the beasts in the real world. This compelled Tobi to seal all of the tailed beasts back into the demonic statue. Although Naruto disagreed, claiming that he simply learned a number of challenging names all at once, and mocked Tobi for not knowing any of them, Tobi was left incredulous by these developments but remained convinced that nothing had changed. As he continued to fight Tobi in the demonic statue of the outer path, Naruto, who was still standing despite his injuries, saw the light surrounding the Jinchuriki's decomposing corpses and silently thanked Itachi before announcing aloud that he would also put an end to the situation on his battlefield. Later, Naruto is seen battling Tobi in his Nine Tails chakra mode and taunting him to remove his mask as he charges at him, declaring that he will be his opponent and cautioning him not to let his guard down against him. Then, Tobi summons a jar and a gourd, tossing them into the statue's mouth before Naruto realizes that the containers contained a tiny amount of Kurama's chakra. Tobi then declares that the 10 tails is now revived, confusing everyone, but B clarifies that he sacrificed one of his tentacle tails to avoid the Akatsuki, and Kurama, after requesting to switch places with Naruto, explains about the treasures and the gold and silver brothers. They might have a chance against a partially revived 10 tails, but not a fully revived one, Kurama said when Naruto questions his tailed beast about the 10 tails and whether it is really that big of a deal. However, Tobi then reveals that a partially revived 10 tails is all he needs to activate the infinite Tsukuyomi for the Eye of the Moon plan. After switching back to Kurama, Naruto responds to the masked man's statement that he will create a world devoid of heroes, hopes, and the future by saying that he will not permit it and that his goal is to become the greatest Hokage of all time. Realizing that it might not be so simple, Naruto decides to crush Toba's mask first, to which the masked man replies that he will not permit them to touch the statue. Naruto then enters 9 Tails chakra mode to attack the statue with a Rasengan, but is blocked by Toba's gunbai. On Kai's planet. "What are you doing here, Goku?" Kibito approached Goku and inquired. Goku was about to finish when old Kai finished for him. "Well guys, I don't think Naruto will be able to stop Toba's Tsukuyomi for the Eye of the Moon plan. I know with his key power he can end this in minutes, but..." As he turned back to his book, old Kai said, he still has his chakra, and that he is weak in Genjutsu, which of course is the plan of this Tobi person. Goku clenched his fist and said, "Well, what should I do? I know this comes at a shock but I don't know how to help." Goku gritted his teeth slightly and said, "I feel so powerless." Goku entered a meditative state and remarked, "If I do interfere, then their verse will be convoluted." As he caught a glimpse of the future, he thought, "Well, I just hope Naruto can use everything he's got to end this." His final thought before vanishing into thin air was, what was that? Goku was in a vortex that appeared to be the Rosat, but he was aware that it wasn't. He saw a fairly tall, fair-skinned man with spiky blonde hair and bright blue eyes while he was floating. With his jaw-length bangs framing his face on either side, Goku grinned, recalling Naruto and knowing who was ahead of him. Goku asked, seemingly casually, "Minato, how are you doing being in the Nether realm?" Minato laughed and gave a slight, no, shake of his head. Minato shook Goku's hand and said, "I'm managing even though it's a bit boring here, but even so, I still have Kushina with me and if Naruto is okay, I'm more than happy." As they withdrew their hands, Goku grinned, but his face quickly turned serious. He spun around as he opened his hand to reveal a television-like portal. Minato asked in a Hokage matter, "What's this?" Goku bluntly informed him, "This is the 4th Shinobi War in your world." Kushina asked Goku a question after Goku grinned and said, "But that's not what I wanted to tell you, actually I was trying to update you on your world. That way you and Kushina will know what's happening when you two arrive." She exclaimed, "What are you talking about, Databane?" with great enthusiasm. When he was done, their bodies were back to their physical best, and Goku grinned as his glowed red. As he felt his body, Minato said, "Gee, Goku, what happened? Did you bring us back to life?" Goku sang a soothing song and said, "Yes, but you will not return right now, we must let Naruto face the guy you faced 16 years ago." Which made them horrified to learn that their son was up against a strong opponent. On the battlefield, the shinobi decide that using feint attacks would be essential in this battle due to Toba's skills as they formulate their plan while Naruto creates a shadow clone. Naruto yelled, "Here I come," and charged Tobi, attacking him with the super mini-tailed beast ball. But Naruto passes through him, becoming intangible. Then Guy jumps into combat with his Soshuga. Guy successfully sends the masked man throttling in the direction of Naruto and his super mini-tailed beast ball by countering Toba's gunbai with his nunchaku. Tobi teleports just as Naruto's attack is about to hit, giving Naruto the idea to sense him and expect him to launch a surprise attack by rising out of the ground. Naruto finds it more difficult to stop Toba's gunbai now that he has dodged the attack. Then, with his kunai enhanced with lightning release, Kakashi seems to enter the battle. Tobi turned intangible once more as Kakashi launched the kunai, kicking it in Naruto's direction. Kakashi uses Kamui to warp away the kunai and tells Naruto to ignore it. Tobi becomes intangible as Naruto makes his final attempt to strike him. As they regrouped, Naruto remarked, "Darn it, he keeps using that phase through jutsu." At that moment, a tiny crack appeared on Toba's mask. Guy said, "Naruto, you did do some damage with that last attack." Naruto didn't answer. Kakashi clarified, "No, it wasn't that the crack was not consistent with a punch." Naruto agreed to validate Kakashi's theory and climbed onto Gyuki's hand before being launched across the battlefield in the direction of Tobi. "Kakashi-sensei's right, it wasn't me." After agreeing to validate Kakashi's theory, Naruto climbs onto Gyuki's hand and is hurled across the battlefield in the direction of Tobi. Guy is the first to attack, shattering the rocks in front of him and making Tobi phase through them. However, Guy keeps attacking while the masked man is still intangible, forcing him to absorb his nunchaku. This enables Naruto to harm Tobi's left arm by attacking him with a Rasengan while he is at his most vulnerable. This technique is a unique and specialized form of space-time ninjutsu that allows the user to achieve two very distinct, yet closely associated feats: teleportation and intangibility. It likens the characteristics of the technique to those of 4th Hokage's Flying Thunder God technique, but it's to be much more versatile since it requires neither seal nor a summoning tattoo to be performed. Kakashi stated. Puzzled as to why the kunai left a mark while his punch did not, Kakashi clarified, leading Naruto to realize that his Rasengan also did this. Naruto intervened as Tobi reprimanded Kakashi, declaring that he would never give up on his goals. When Tobi started reprimanding Naruto as well, the young man switched places with Kurama, who assured Tobi that he would always win in Naruto's place. They then charged at Tobi while in tailed beast mode. After Tobi dodged Naruto's attack and chastised him for attacking alone, Naruto retorted that he wasn't alone because his friends and teachers were with him. This helped Kakashi get out of his slump and launch another group attack. Naruto used a shadow clone to have B cover him while the real Naruto charged a tailed beast ball and the clone charged Tobi with a Rasengan. When Kakashi's Kamui failed to warp the Rasengan, Tobi believed he had destroyed the clone. He then phased through the tailed beast ball. But once he was in the other dimension, he realized that Kakashi had actually sent the entire clone over. Before he could respond, Naruto struck him in the face with a Rasengan, shattering his mask. Later on, he can be seen expressing concern that Tobi seems to be a former comrade that Guy and Kakashi know. Naruto tries to rally his sensei after receiving an answer to his question about who was standing in front of them without a mask, telling him that they needed to concentrate on thwarting his plans for the time being. Naruto used Kurama's tails as a blockade when Tobi attacked Guy and Kakashi, extinguishing the flames before Madara Uchiha appeared on the battlefield.
That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this great story. See you in the next one.